Before we get started, subscribe to my channel. I've been watching the news. If you guys been watching the news, a lot of stuff been going on. You know, I've been looking back on this COVID stuff. I know you guys probably have seen some of my videos. Me and my wife, we come down with COVID in February of 2021. And that's been a little over 2 years now. Well, right at 2 years. And every 3-4 months, we go get our antibodies checked. And the strange thing about this, our COVID antibodies have increased since we first had COVID. Maybe we are asymptomatic now and we may have had COVID again, and it just boosted our immune system up higher. And I haven't been vaccinated. I didn't like people coming out and trying to scare people into getting this vaccination, saying, hey, make it mandated. If you don't get it, you need to go to jail and so forth. But I've been watching DeSantis, the Florida governor, and I like this guy, and I hope he runs for president in 2024. But, you know, he'll have to run against Trump. So either way. But listen to what he did. You know, he have called for the grand jury to do an investigation on these COVID-19 vaccines with these big pharmaceutical companies. Check this out and tell me what you think about it.
Because in Florida, you know, it is against the law to mislead and to misrepresent, particularly when you're talking about the efficacy of a drug. We see just recently, Florida got $3.2 billion through legal action against those responsible for the opioid crisis. And so it's not like this is something that's unprecedented. So today, I'm announcing a petition with the Supreme Court of Florida to impanel a statewide grand jury to investigate any and all wrongdoing in Florida with respect to COVID-19 vaccines. And we anticipate that we will get the approval for that. That will be something that will be impaneled most likely in the Tampa Bay area. And that will come with legal processes that will be able to get more information and to bring legal accountability for those who committed misconduct.
And I hope other states follow his role, especially Texas. But check this out. He did get the approval.
Political win for Governor Ron DeSantis tonight. Just hours ago, the Florida Supreme Court announced it will convene a grand jury after the governor requested an investigation into any wrongdoing involving COVID-19 vaccines. The governor claims pharmaceutical companies had a financial interest in creating a climate in which people believe that getting the vaccine would ensure they couldn't spread the virus to others. The grand jury will meet for 1 year.
And I think around December the 30th, 2022, maybe about a week and a half ago, this retired football player passed away.
Tonight we are learning a former Jacksonville Jaguars player has died. He was selected as a 5th-round pick by the Jaguars in the 2007 NFL Draft. His name is Uche Waineri. Our media partners at the Times Union are reporting he was found unresponsive in his wife's home in Indiana Friday night. Preliminary reports say he suffered a heart attack, and there are no signs of foul play.
And I hate to see that anybody pass away, but I think he sent this Twitter out here in maybe September of 2021. That was the height of the COVID and stuff. Like I said, me and my wife had COVID there in that February, and it was kind of scary, you know, and a lot of people was pushing for people to get vaccinated, and we kind of held off. And I know a lot of my family members was telling us, hey, we need to get vaccinated. But I wasn't for it or against it. And I didn't advocate anybody to go get vaccinated, or I didn't tell anybody not to get vaccinated. But this is a tweet that he wrote here in September of 2021. It said, okay, so let's get this vaccine mandated and vaccine passports up and running ASAP. We're seeing children die daily from the unvaccinated selfishness. Pregnant women at risk too. Protect life. Mandate the vaccine. Jail anyone who refuses to protect life. And that was a tweet that was sent out, and that scared a lot of people, because some people thought maybe, hey, if we don't take this vaccine, we're gonna be jailed, or we're gonna lose our jobs. But check this out right here. This is Joe Rogan. It's very interesting. If you guys get a chance, listen to this episode. It says Joe Rogan number 1921 when he was talking to Peter Zahan. I think that's how I say it. That's how you say it, Peter Zahan. But check this out. I'm going to show you some snippets of it.
So when you're saying that China has 10 years to go,
at most.
What do you mean by that?
Well, we now know that they've lied about their population statistics, and they overcounted their population by over 100 million people, all of whom would have been born since the one-child policy was adopted. They're completely dependent on the U.S. Navy to access international trade. They are the most vulnerable country in the world right now. So the lowest fatality estimate that I have seen that I consider credible is that they're going to lose 1.5 million people.
Wow.
Just from COVID.
Just from COVID. That assumes no broader breakdown in the health system, which we are already seeing.
And is this because they don't have natural immunity because of
part of it.
The rigid lockdowns that they encountered?
Yeah, from a plus point of view, they did keep the virus out of the population for almost 3 years. So no one has natural immunity. But we also know that their domestically generated vaccines aren't great. And most of the countries that used them in order to get their kind of first batch then moved on to a Western model that worked better.
If you get a chance, listen to that episode. It's crazy. If I remember, I'll put a link in the description or a drop down. But that Joe Rogan episode was, it's crazy. Joe Rogan was like, wow. I never seen him react like that. But this is in January right here. I've seen some news here. What's going on in China with this COVID surge. Check this out.
This morning, China is being overwhelmed by a massive COVID surge. Hospital emergency rooms packed with patients who are mostly older, weak, and struggling. Resources appearing to be stretched so thin, the sick often lying on lawn chairs instead of hospital beds.
They have beds in the lobby, near the elevators, in the hallways. They're running out of places to put people.
The size and scope of COVID infections remains unclear here because of little credible information and the way China's government counts COVID deaths. There are too many, says this funeral provider, about demand. Near one hospital, we've seen empty caskets stacked in an alley. Officially, China has recorded only 18 COVID deaths during the past month.
In the hospital, we are a little bit suspicious. We see a lot of patients with complications. We know that the ICU in other hospitals are full of patients.
Wow. It's a lot of stuff going on in the news. It's just so much to cover in a certain amount of time. You know, you got this COVID, you got the stock market, you got cryptocurrency. You're looking at, man, it's just way too much. But anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, and I would like to read some of the comments.